What's going on, everybody? Weekend of the 25th. You can't tell by the sunshine being out. It just popped out, but it's supposed to rain tonight, tomorrow. Got the sides down to the greenhouse. It was a little cool last night, this morning, and again, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. Gonna do a quick few updates and then get a little busy in the, the garden, and try to splice in a few things as we go. Cucumber plant's doing pretty well. A little yellow on the bottom. I did clip a couple of the leaves. I didn't end up spraying for bugs. There's a couple of aphids, but not too horrible. I cut a third cucumber. And I think there was another one. Yeah, there's another one. Kind of doing its thing back in there. So not too bad. Thinned out the radishes. Brussels sprouts, especially the one in the center, is doing pretty well. All of the cucumber replants are coming up, so that's wonderful. One watermelon seed popping out, 2 watermelons. This half is Diva. This is the green apple. I got more seeds in. I just planted those last week, so don't expect much from there. The third time's the charm on the corn replants. A couple of these were from the second replant, and a lot of little sprouts. Snow peas aren't doing that great. A little runty in the back, but the yes, my lovely crappy neighbors. But the snap peas are doing real well. So pull off a couple of those, and not a whole ton to eat, but I need to pick them just to get the plants to start producing some more. The tongue of fire is doing much better than the dragon's tongue and the rattlesnake. Actually, there's some blossoms going on over here already. They're a little runty, but we'll see what happens. And the Chinese longbeard, not doing so great. The Blue Lake's doing pretty well. I did plant a few seeds in the bare areas. Held with the potatoes. Potatoes are doing really well. And those were just russet potatoes from the store. I need to come in and cut these onions down, and I'm going to take them and dehydrate the tops. But I mean, some of these are probably 3 foot long, and they've got a long ways to go. So strawberries, there's actually some strawberries hiding in here. They're underneath all the leaves, but there's a few berries going on. Birds haven't got to them yet. Carrots, like I said, thinned out, so just letting them do their thing. And onions galore, right? So those two were actually green onions, and I left them, so those are going to seed. And the other onions in there are not green onions, they're regular onions. And those were green onions from like 4 months ago. I just let them do their thing, so they're just kind of sitting there until I figure out something better to do with them. Plus I have, that was before I decided, like I said, to get the onion sets. What's this one? Spinach, starting to poke through, and looks like a little bit of dill poking through. Not, you can tell from here between the my shadow and the distance. Cucumber in a barrel, looking pretty healthy. Haven't really done much with it. You can see the Oasis Grow Cube. That's pretty dry up top, and then you can see a few roots, but then the root system in the barrow goes down to about here. Can't really get a good picture of it, but there's lots of cucumbers starting in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, That one's probably going to rot. So other than that, it's just doing its thing, and I'm trying to train it to grow that way and give it a little bit of stability across the top of the barrel instead of just falling off here. We'll see what happens. And then the jungle. I still haven't done anything with the jungle. That's the cilantro hanging all the way over there. So that's pretty crazy. A couple of the romaines are still here. I guess it'd be better if I move the screen door out of the way. The tomato plants are doing wonderful. So these are the Juliets. I've already got some blossoms. And these tubes, at least the bottom tubes, have got to go because these plants are growing like crazy. I've got to get in and string these up. And some of these are starting to fall over. These are all the bobcat tomatoes, so I've got to get in here and string them up. I'll try to throw up a tripod, and it's not rocket science, but just show you what I do. This cilantro's monstrous. It needs to be cut. It's just hanging over. I mean, it's 3 feet long. You ever seen cilantro that long, or cilantro that thick? Haven't been doing anything with the leaf lettuce, just haven't felt like eating lettuce, so it's been growing. And then you've got the size of the chard. The chard's just going crazy up there. Looks really cool. Nice pinkish red. There's some white going on in there. Looks like that one getting choked out or just broke, just kind of renty, and looks like there's a yellow and a red together here. That lettuce fell over. But anyways, I need to do some trimming and eat up this lettuce and get these tubes taken out. The one strawberry that was in there was not very good, but then one of the other strawberries that I got were better. These plants aren't doing real great. They're not doing horrible. There's these little white flies, not aphids. I haven't sprayed. I was waiting, thinking I was going to cut it out by now. And then the tomato plants, like I said, they're all leaning, so I've got to get them strung up. I did some trimming last week, and they're starting to fall over, so it's just it's one of those have-to things. Pepper plants are doing real well. Trimmed the bottoms a little bit. I need to top them as they get a little bigger. Literally, like what it says, you cut the top off, try to make it a little bit wider. Like I clipped this one. I probably should have clipped it a little bit further down. This one, they all need to be topped, so helps them branch out more, get a little wider. And then, like I said, all the these are all bobcats, so and then I was trying to see what peppers would grow and wouldn't grow. They're all runty, especially the older ones. I just need to toss them. And then these were supposed to be the Cascabellas, and they're really not doing anything, so I need to start them again. Either the seeds are bad or it was just too cold, and now it's prime time. So then there's a few bobcats that are left. I kind of been just let them sit here, so I'm not sure what I was going to do with them. And then there's a couple cucumbers hanging over there that I've been neglecting, and there's still a cucumber hanging out in the back. Where'd it go? It's up here on the top. Oh, it's halfway down. Can't really see it, but anyways, so it's either going to go in a 5-gallon bucket or in another 55-gallon drum. We'll see what happens when I get to that point. So other than that, that's it for the update. I'll splice in me stringing up a couple of tomatoes, and maybe if I get the cucumber done today or tomorrow, and we'll see if I put it in a bucket or put it in a barrel, and we'll go from there. Have a good week. Alright, let's see if this turns out good. So what I use is braided mason twine. Can't really see it, but Amazon all day long. It's about 250 feet. Says number 18, so it doesn't rot, so you get a couple years out of it. Basically, I cut it down every year between the heat here in California and whatever, and it's a pain once you start getting the lines running to undo them and reuse them. Greenhouse isn't really tall enough to have those little hangers with the cool spools on it, plus they're expensive. And just using these plant clips, basically they just clamp around the string. So there's really nothing to it. Just cut yourself a length of string. I'll just tie a simple hoop. And just run it around the support. Then, so they didn't hear about the plant. Get the first clip in. I'm actually going to put 2 in this one. It's actually tall enough. And that's really all there is to it. We've got 2 plants in here, and this one's leaning pretty good, so I'm going to do another one. Of course, I hit it with my head and popped it off. Wasn't that wonderful? To make sure that you get the clamp around the string and that you have it where it's going to support the plant. So that's really all there is to it. Then do every single one. The only thing I do is trim the bottoms a little bit, so you need some air in the bottom, plus it also gives something to clip. So I'm going to go through and prune the bottom leaf and or sucker. Going to trim those, and it gives me something to clamp onto. These are all determinate plants, so really shouldn't be too much trimming of suckers. They're just going to grow, do their thing, and you just manage it. They're only supposed to go about 4 or 5 feet, so we'll see what happens. That's it. So the question is, will a cucumber grow in a 5-gallon bucket? Of course it's going to grow. However, when I pulled the plant out, I stacked it up, it slipped, and part of it got crushed. So I'm not going to cut the part that got crushed. We'll see if it survives, but I'm going to mix up some solution, throw a lid on. You can see the old hole versus the new hole, 4-inch versus 3-inch hole. So I'm going to mix up some solution real quick and pound the lid on.
With a sledgehammer and throw the plant in and see what happens. That's about all I can do. It's not the healthiest plant. It's a little renty compared to the other one, so I figured why not throw it in a bucket. So I'll have one in the tote, one in the barrel, and one in the bucket.
And nothing like being prepared, right? Anyways, we'll, here, let me detach, see if I can get in a little closer. We'll see how terrible the break is. I mean, it's pretty bad. Here's the one leaf. That leaf's gonna die. And then it's got a pretty big bend right there. So we'll see what happens. Worst case is it dies, right? So when we start another one, gonna reshoot a piece here. So anyways, just was gonna show you the tomatoes all strung up, tubes out, which you already know. Everything's nice and supported. The peppers will get done in a couple of weeks as they get a little bigger, and as the tomatoes get bigger, I'll go in and I will clean up what we'll call the trunks. You'll see that as we go along. I cut out one of the leaf lettuce, show you that in just a moment, and I just have to work on eating down this part of the jungle in the next couple of weeks, so I get these other buckets. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 2 or 3 buckets, we'll see. There's 2 regular holes that are in there, but depending on what I grow, we'll see what we have space for. And then here's this monstrous single head of leaf lettuce. It's ginormous. And then I put the sad cucumber out here, so we'll see what happens and go from there. So cucumber in the 5-gallon bucket. If I didn't break it, it might do better, but we'll see.